Around 1:40 this afternoon, the car was first spotted around the Flinders Street station area. We understood that it could have been pursued for some time, but as a result, that car has ended up in the Bourke Street Mall and hit several pedestrians. Now, we've heard early reports that could be around a dozen people injured at this stage. We've also heard reports that an infant child could be among those who have been hit. Now, Bourke Street Mall has been placed into lockdown as a result. Police have swarmed this area. The offender has been taken into police custody. We heard some earlier reports that shots may have been fired. Now, the police helicopter has been up in the air and watched this event all unfold beneath it. Ambulances and emergency services, as I say, are now on scene, and they are currently treating those injured people in the Bourke Street Mall. We still don't know how many people were injured in this frightening incident, but we understand that it could be around the 12 figure. Now, it's still unclear just what happened here this afternoon. Many people are wandering around trying to find out the details and trying to find out if their loved ones have been involved in these severe collisions, but it's definitely a major event. The whole place, as I say, has been put into lockdown. The surrounding areas as well. We're right here on Elizabeth Street at the moment, and police are still swarming the area. Just to recap, Pete, though, we do think that the offender is now in police custody. It's unclear what that state of the person is at the moment, but there are around a dozen people injured in this incident. Pete?
Thank you, Dougal. Yes, we've been watching some vision of that car, of a car at the centre of the incident doing donuts, it seems, in front of Flinders Street Station. A person who was there is a 9 News reporter, saw it unfold. Stephanie Anderson in the city. Stephanie, what did you see?
Hi, Peter. Well, we were actually at a press conference with the Lord Mayor and watched this car drive down Swanston Street, pursued by a number of police vehicles. It was at quite low speeds by that point, but as the sirens increased, we actually saw this car drive up onto the footpath or attempt to drive up onto the footpath of Swanston Street. Some bollards were blocking the way, so it kept on going through the footpath. We lost sight of it from there, but we've since come down towards Bourke Street Mall. The chaos is the best way, I think, to describe it. Police were yelling at crowds to get out of the way. There were people on the ground injured, with people coming to their aid, and also ambulance and paramedics coming down Bourke Street Mall to treat them. Crowds were actually herded into stores on either side of Bourke Street Mall. We were actually herded into Maya along with hundreds of others. A lot of confusion, a lot of fear, lots of tears. There were people really upset over what they'd just seen. Witnesses have told me, as Dougal mentioned, that the car drove down Bourke Street Mall on the footpath out of control. One witness told me that one of the buskers had just had a significant crowd around him watching his performance and had only just wrapped up, and some of those people dispersed as the car came down the actual mall. So, as I said, there's still hundreds of people here in the city, lots and lots of confusion. People aren't sure what's going on, where they should be going, where their family and friends are. And yeah, at this stage, it's just a lot of confusion in here. Police have cordoned off the whole area. There's a lot of ambulances going in and out, and victims being picked up and taken to hospital for treatment.
Stephanie Anderson, who saw the incident unfold. Now, we've just heard news. One person has died and confirmed that 20 people have been injured in this event. Clint Stanaway's been following events today. Clint, tell us what happened.
They are staggering numbers, aren't they, Pete? 20 people injured now, and of course one unfortunately deceased as well. You just think of the timeline of events. This all started around 1:30 this afternoon. Yeah. The city would have been heaving with people. Yeah. The end of the lunch rush hour, of course, and this incredible incident has taken place. As Steph and also Dougal have detailed, various witness accounts, a state of confusion, a state of mass panic. I just want to read you a few. Alison is one. She describes this amazing stampede of people rushing through cafe doors. That in itself would be quite terrifying. Nobody quite knew what was going on at that time. Somebody says there's a gun. Everybody was trying to take cover. Like sardines, we were squished into a shop front. And then there's a rainbow Vacos. We saw those incredible pictures of the car doing donuts in Flinders Street. Of course, that in itself also would be quite concerning, quite terrifying. He was hanging out the window, he was doing burnouts, screaming out to a lot of people. It's just so hard to take in, Rainbow says. It's like something out of a movie. Of course, as I say, 1:30 in the afternoon, the lunch rush hour, you wonder what's going on here.
Yes,
and just that mass of people in the city.
Yep.
We know that the buildings in 550, 570, 600 Bourke Street are in lockdown. Tram services have been suspended. The air wings up, marked and unmarked police cars are doing their best to keep the city safe right now. And the latest we've got from Victorian Police suggests that pedestrian access has actually been closed along the entire stretch of Bourke Street between Williams and Swanston. And police are, of course, urging that public avoid that area.
Yes, I saw the police helicopter hovering over the western suburbs, then headed for the Westgate Bridge and presumably followed the chase into the city. And I kept getting phone calls from people who were there saying the same sort of things. Had no idea what was going on, but were in a state of shock. We'd like to speak now to Sarah Hancock, 9 News reporter who's in the city, to bring us up to date on what's happening now.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi Sarah, what can you see? What's happening?
It's quite a lot of confusion going on. Only moments ago, paramedics were still rushing to the scene looking like they may be treating patients or injured people. I was on Elizabeth Street when there was a sort of huge rush of people. A man was doing burnouts outside the train station and then apparently, according to witnesses that I've spoken to here at the scene, drove down the mall and drove over people, knocking people down to the ground. There's a lot of talk. I've watched witnesses coming out with police, clearly emotional, clearly upset. They've been crying. They're obviously very shaken from what they've just seen. It's just quite scary. I mean, the chopper is continuing to circle over the scene right now, and they've pushed back the cordon. The cordon was first originally near the H&M store, close to Bourke Street, and then we were then pushed back, and people just curious to what was happening. But obviously, it is a dangerous situation and remains to be so.
Sarah, thank you very much for bringing us up to date. Now, we've heard that at least one person has been arrested. Sadly, one person has been killed and 20 people are injured. Now, we're winding up now on the coverage of the story, but we will be following this all afternoon, and full details in 9 News tonight at 6. See you then.
We're looking on the long straight roads here at the moment, and quite exposed just now. There is a wind blowing out there. It's not a tragic one, but